Voting for the sixth phase of UP polls has concluded. 53.31% voter turnout has been recorded till 6 p.m. Voters in 57 seats across 10 districts cast their vote and sealed the fate of 676 candidates today, including UP's Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Congress UP President Ajay Kumar Lallu, Chandrasekhar Ravan. The districts that voted today were Gorakhpur, Ambedkar Nagar, Balrampur, Siddharth Nagar, Basti, Sant Kabir Nagar, Maharajganj, Kushinagar, Deoria and Balia. All right, my colleague Harsha joins us for more. Harsha, very crucial seat that voted today. It's often said that whoever wins Eastern UP goes on to win Uttar Pradesh. What was the day like? And we understand that 53.31% voters cast their precious vote today.
Yeah, I'll tell you, this is a very important phase because now we are reaching the end of UP polls. On 7th, there will be the last polling date of UP election. But 6th phase, when we talk about Purvanchal voting, this is a very important phase because many important candidates are fighting in this phase, be it UP CM Yogi Adityanath, Chandrasekhar Ravan. The cabinet ministers there are many cabinet ministers who are contesting in this phase, be it Anand Swarup Shukla or Surya Pratap Shahi. And if we talk about the leaders who are not contesting but are very important, like RPN Singh from Padrona, he's a very important, and Chandrasekhar Ravan. And along with this, Soy Prasad Maurya has also voted today. These are very important candidates, I'll tell you. And in this phase, while we talk about Purvanchal, there was a time, I'll tell you, because right now I'm standing in Gorakhpur, there was a time when this Gorakhpur was known as the crime capital of India. But now people are talking much about the development. I'll like to show you the place where I'm standing right now. This is called Ramgarh Tal. See, I'm showing you because it establishes with the development, the sort of development which UP people are talking about. From this Gorakhpur seat, UP CM Yogi Adityanath is contesting, and there are many seats which are not going to be an easy cake for UP politicians. Many cabinet ministers, there's a tough exam for them because the voters are going to evaluate the 5 years working in development of these contestants, of these ministers. People are talking about the development they have done in their area. People are talking about the kind of visits they have planned in their area. People are talking whether they have given roads or not, whether they have given the ration cards or not, whether they have provided the cylinders or not, or whether they have visited to the constituency gradually or not. People are talking, voters are talking about all of this because today we visited many constituencies like Gorakhpur, like Kushinagar, like when we talk about Padrona, when we talk about Maharajganj or Basti, we went to many places like Balia. The voters are very smart this time. They're not telling to whom they will vote, but clearly they are stating the points. They are saying that, madam, development has happened. But what about the unemployment? Unemployment, inflation actually is a big issue for the youngsters, for the women in this entire area. Yes, people talk that Gorakhpur has seen no much of development in these 5 years. The road infrastructure have been developed. If we talk about the connectivity from Gorakhpur to Kushinagar, Gorakhpur to Padrona, Gorakhpur to Ayodhya and Lucknow has reached excellence par level, and that's very good. But what about the unemployment? What about the inflation? What about the diesel and petrol prices? Why is government not thinking about all these issues? So this time in this space, development has been a very important issue where people were talking about. But along with this, voters are seeing that also, that what government is promising in the another 5 years. Are they going to give several jobs, private jobs, government jobs to the voters, to the youngsters? So this has been an important point raised by youngsters. Therefore, this election is very important, and 6th phase is very important because there's so many cabinet ministers who are fighting and contesting from different seats. And in case, because we see there are many parties who have worked on the social engineering issue. If we see caste factors, there are many seats like where Brahman voters are much in number, where Thakur voters are much in number, where Yadav voters and Dalit voters are much in number. So there are BSP and SP. These parties have worked a lot on social engineering. They have fielded their candidate that ways only. In some places, Brahman candidates. In some places, the tickets have not been given to the already sitting MLAs. The tickets have been cut and given to the new candidate. So this is a tough exam because Purvanchal will decide who will actually win from the UP, because this time Gorakhpur is a very important place. Yogi CM Adityanath is talking about the development, talking about the kind of development he has given, talking about the road infrastructure and other things which this state has got in this Yogi Adityanath's rule. Yes.
Right. Thank you, Harsha, for those updates. As the voting for sixth phase has concluded, the battle for Uttar Pradesh polls will now officially enter the last leg, where all eyes are on the electoral battle in and around Varanasi, which is seeing Prime Minister Narendra Modi and prominent leaders from opposition parties leading their campaigns. While Prime Minister Modi will stay put in Varanasi for 2 days on March 4th and 5th, West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is campaigning for SP Chief Akhilesh Yadav. Voting for the 7th and final round will be held on March 7th for Varanasi and its 8 adjoining districts.
अगर हमें इस विकृति से बाहर निकलना है, वंशवाद की राजनीति से, जातिवाद की राजनीति से, मत और मजहब की राजनीति से, माफियावाद और आतंकवाद जैसी दुष्प्रवृत्ति से बाहर निकलना है, तो हम मतदान करें और विकास, सुशासन, सुरक्षा और राष्ट्रवाद के मुद्दे पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी के समर्थन में मतदान करें।
भाजपा का नेतृत्व आपके सामने है। ईमानदार, सक्षम और गरीबों के लिए संवेदनशील। इतना ही नहीं, परिवारवाद से बिल्कुल मुक्त। भाइयों बहनों, इन माफियावादियों की नीयत क्या रही है, ये जौनपुर के लोग अच्छी तरह जानते हैं।
आप लोगों ने बहुत पाप किया है। जब चुनाव आते हैं तो आप मंदिर का बात करते हो, चुनाव आते हैं तो हिंदू मुस्लिम करते हो। मेरे को जय सिया राम स्लोगन में कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, लेकिन आप क्या करते हो? सिया माता को नाम नहीं बोलता, सीता माता का नाम नहीं बोलता, आप बोलता है जय श्री राम। वो नहीं है, जय सिया राम है। अच्छा बात कह लो, और हमको सिखाना नहीं है। हम तो माँ दुर्गा पूजा करते हैं। राम जी ने जिसको पूजा किया था, हम उसका पूजा करते हैं।
ये सपा बसपा सपा बसपा बसपा सपा बुआ भतीजा 20 साल तक शासन किया। किसी ने ये माताओं के घर में, गरीबों के घर में शौचालय बनाने का काम किया था क्या? किया था? 2,61,00,000 घरों में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने शौचालय बनाने का काम 2,61,00,000 घरों में किया।
All right, I'm joined by Karan Verma, who's an author and political commentator on the broadcast. Mr. Verma, thank you for making time and speaking to Mirror now. All phases of UP elections are very important, but everyone is saying that it's the phase 6 and phase 7 that holds the key, the Purvanchal belt, and whoever wins Eastern UP ends up forming the government in the state. What is your assessment of the situation? Because you know, the kind of ground reports that we are getting, the kind of election analysis that's in the public domain so far, everybody has said that it's very difficult to gauge the voters' mood. Till now, the picture is not very clear. Your views on that?
It's been a blockbuster of an election, to say the least. Every phase has had its own story, Archana. But this is the phase where BJP is up in full display, because most of their infrastructure projects, be it the Kashi Vishwanath corridor or the Gorakhpur Expressway, the Purvanchal Expressway, so all these are the subjects that they had, which they could tom-tom about, and they've been in full display. We saw the Prime Minister have rallies across Devariya, across Basti. So they've given it their full hog. And the ground reports that I'm getting is that BJP is the top horse. BJP is leading. BJP needs a very good strike rate in this phase. Last time around, they got 80% of the seats. This is also a phase, Archana, where social coalitions and social engineering is at its best, because the Samajwadi Party and the Rajbhar alliance, it'll be interesting to see how well they do. They've been very, very choosy in their ticket distribution. BJP has also formed alliances of its own, whether it's with Apna Dal or the Nishad Party. What is also heartening to see, Archana, is the choice of candidates. I was looking at the candidates that BJP has fielded from Devariya, Shalabh Mani Tripathi, who is an ex-media person, who's an accomplished person in his field. They've also fielded doctors like Dr. Vimlesh Paswan from Basgaon. And the report, the sense is that people are liking the choice of candidates of BJP as well. So besides the fact that the Prime Minister has been doing rallies across and the Chief Minister is himself in the electoral fray today, they also have liked the choice of candidates, because there have been lots of accomplished people who've done well in their fields, who are still young, and they've also been fielded. Besides the fact that 50% of the seats are those which have OBCs and MBCs. So it's really interesting. I see the non-Yadav OBCs slowly gravitating towards the BJP. I also see the BJP leading the narrative. And that's why I think BJP is going to be in the driver's seat. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. We can always be ready for that surprise. But my sense of assessment is BJP has managed the narrative really well in Purvanchal.
All right. Thank you, Karan, for those insights. We'll have to wait and watch what these campaigns, what these choices translate into on March 10th. Thank you for joining us.